Mic check, mic check. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Color guard, retire the colors. Chaplain Peters will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Amen.
Guests, please be seated. Military personnel, please remain uncovered for the remainder of the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Rear Admiral Velez, Commander, Navy Recruiting Command.
First question I said, I can teach you. I start thinking about moments, I always go back and rise and out there. I so appreciate it. I hope you stay in touch. Always. Fun. We could probably take Allison. We could take Allison. Oh, yeah. That's
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes until we start.
So this is going to be not uncovered. No, you're not having that on screen. No. Where's she going?
I'm putting it right here.
You're lying. That's the NCR. She's got her dookie. I'll send it to you guys. Our last group. She's there. Hey. Heather. Heather. We're about to start. we're always fighting against the men. And then goes forward, things change, responsibilities take effect, continuously running against the wind, trying to just find a place and trying to know when you get to a point of suddenly you find yourself still running against the wind. And I was thinking about it in words and really reflected on how much I have to run against the wind. Trying to take care of so many things that I really reflected and I said, you know what? I am so content that I'm going to start running against this. Yeah, let me carry on and move. So, and it's just amazing how you reflect on so many things in your life, in your past, that you haven't seen that in so long. They call that and say, thank you. I walk behind your family, and it's just amazing. We sometimes feel that we haven't, we do our job, but we touch a lot of people in our lives. We don't see it, but they remember. Exactly, no. We don't want to do it. But we should ourselves be grateful that we have done that for somebody. Sometimes we feel we go through enough, and it isn't. It is grace to be able to feel they feel that. You know what? Like, listen, all I did was leave it open. Those little things that they make me do it anyway. And it was amazing. So, man, let's not right against it. November 17th. Unless I'm playing a golf course with the wind in my face, I'm going to have issues. The one that you in your mind is going to do this, and also you.
That is my problem.
It is.
To a T.
Well, we can't until the NCR gets here. Oh, the NCR is here. Okay. I saw her go to the bathroom.
I was gonna say she's been down there for like 5 minutes. Since you guys have been down here, I don't know why we're waiting. You know what?
No, it isn't. I'm going to go back to my office real quick, check a couple of emails, put on some both those. I go on travel next week, so I'll be traveling on Sunday to Atlanta, leave Atlanta Monday, heading to New York, and then Tuesday, 6 stations in St. Louis, and finish up in Nashville. Then I'm driving back on Friday. And then I'll be here the following. I love it. I never understood the 45. 45 is like what? Day 7, so you just 50 is when you get to use. I like it. I like it.
We have some misconduct with the enterprise was looking over the concept of we got all the office here. Oh, we're missing nets here. We're missing nets here.
Oh, Nancy's here. Garvin is here. I saw. I think. What do you see?
Jay's here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please switch your electronic devices to airplane mode during the change of command ceremony and go ahead and take your seats. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you to the Navy Recruiting Command Change of Command ceremony, at which Rear Admiral Dennis Velez will be relieved by Rear Admiral Alexis Walker. The Change of Command ceremony is a time-honored naval tradition, reinforcing the continuity of the authority of command. It is a custom wholly naval, and tradition dictates that it be conducted before the assembled company of the command, as well as honored dignitaries and guests. Will you please rise for the arrival of the official party, remain standing and covered for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation. Boatswain, ready the side boys. Rear Admiral, United States Navy, arriving. Navy Recruiting Command, arriving. Naval Education and Training Command, arriving. Chief of Navy arriving. Boatswain, retire the side boys. Color guard, parade the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color guard, retire the colors. Chaplain Peters will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, creator and master of the seas, we thank you for Admiral Dennis Velez. We thank you for his leadership and sage navigation of Navy Recruiting Command. Lord, we thank you for his wise parents, Dennis Sr. and Rita Velez, his amazing bride, Delissa, and their wonderful children, Melissa, Madeline and Dennis Antonio, thank you for their priceless support and love. And Lord, thank you for the commanders and the amazing staff of Recruiting Nation and their relentless pursuit of excellence and success. Now, Lord, bless Admiral Velez's next role, gaining and maintaining sea control. Bless his family, his health, and his future untold. Bless Navy Recruiting Command ceremony today. Bless each participant, all present, and those online, we pray. Amen.
Guests, please be seated. Military personnel, please remain uncovered. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Rear Admiral Dennis Velez, Commander, Navy Recruiting Command.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, shipmates, mentors. Admiral Standel, thanks for being here, sir. You didn't have to come all the way from, California. I appreciate you being here, a mentor of mine for many, many years. Love, thanks for seeing you. Sean back there, thanks for making time to be out here. And to my teammate in recruiting, General Bumster, thank you for being here. Your presence means a lot to me. And again, Bull, we talked Wednesday. Thanks for having me for dinner, but thanks for your mentorship and support and everything you taught me over the last 2 years. And your drive and passion for continuing to make our Navy better. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to introduce our guest speaker today, the Chief of Naval Personnel. Vice Admiral now is a distinguished graduate of the United States Naval Academy with a Bachelor of Science degree in Ocean Engineering and holds a Master's of Science degree in Weapons Systems Engineering. He is a surface warfare officer whose operational tours have spanned the Atlantic, the Pacific fleets to include command tours of forward deployed naval forces in Europe and the Western Pacific. He also served as the Maritime Force Command for Joint Task Force Lebanon, commander of Task Force West and Central Africa, and he led a multinational force of ships, submarines, aircraft, expeditionary partnership teams, and land-based forces conducting the inaugural Africa Partnership Station deployment. His most recent operational command was as Commander, Amphibious Force 7th Fleet, Expeditionary Strike Group 7, Task Force 76 in Okinawa, Japan. He is currently serving as the 59th Chief of Naval Personnel. Admiral.
Well, I just have to say what a pleasure it is to be here today. I won't repeat all the admirals and generals. Dennis covered those, but I will just say that as I look out at the audience, Dennis and I had many of the same mentors, and it is great to see old shipmates in the audience because it is a family as we look at Millington, Tennessee, and what that means to my Navy HR. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and it really is, Dennis, an incredible honor and a privilege to speak at this change of command ceremony. And it's even more exciting for me because we get to transfer the con to another old shipmate of mine, Lex Walker. So Lex and Dennis, to both of you, and certainly to your families. So Amy, with you, Noah and Ryan, and Delissa, it's so good to have you all here in person. Delissa, I do understand that there were a few flight delays, and so you are going on probably about 2 hours sleep. So a round of applause for Delissa, please. But we also have some very special folks that are joining us virtually today. And so I'd ask you to welcome as well some who are online to be part of this. Joining us virtually are Dennis and Delissa's kids, Melissa, Madeline, Dennis Jr. Melissa's at George Mason knocking it out of the park on her master's degree. Madeline is currently a third-year nursing student at UVA and will be sworn in as a nurse candidate in May. And so, Dennis, I just have to tell you, having sworn one of my kids into the Navy, it's just a memorable event. And so we're looking forward to having another Velez join the Navy. And then we also have Dennis Jr. Online, who's a first-year Mech East student at Georgia Tech. And so, Dennis Jr., we would really like to talk to you about considering that as well. I know you're looking at a lot of different things, but so I just have to tell you, for all of our wonderful Navy brats, right? Your parents are very proud of you. They spent a lot of time talking about you, and they have done a really good job. We also have Dennis's parents joining us from Puerto Rico. So Dennis and Rita, welcome, and his sisters, Jenny and Rita Denise. So I'll just say welcome to all. And, you know, we always want to recognize the service and the sacrifice of our families. We could not do what we all do without your support. And so we thank you for loving us and supporting us. Now, as some of you may know, I have known and served with Dennis for many years and across several tours together. And in that time, I have felt so incredibly lucky to call him a shipmate and to watch his leadership in action. And as the Chief of Naval Personnel, I rely heavily on the My Navy HR team to ensure that we can man the fleet with the right sailor at the right time with the right training to ensure warfighting readiness. And the team that Dennis leads is instrumental and fundamental to achieving this mission. Under his leadership, we have achieved and reimagined and reshaped, as none of us could have envisioned many years ago, what Navy Recruiting Command is all about, how they do business, and indeed, as you're going to hear in my remarks, how they have achieved incredible results. I don't know if you were tracking, I suspect some of you were, that here in the last couple of weeks, we celebrated, celebrate may be the wrong word, we acknowledged the second anniversary of the COVID pandemic. And indeed, I think most of us would probably say we've moved from the pandemic into an endemic. And it certainly has had unprecedented effects on all of us personally and professionally. And it certainly had an unprecedented effect on how we recruit and achieve our mission, of which many of you in the recruiting nation, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today, will attest was very, very challenging. Competing in an all virtual environment for an extended period and navigating the uncertainties of COVID. And, you know, we forget a little bit now, in the words of, the Godfather, when we went to the mattresses, right, here. And for the My Navy HR team, that was really in February of 20, because we saw what was happening overseas. The ingenuity and the creativity that has been required has been incredible. And Dennis and his team, I would argue, have led the way on that. Despite incredible hurdles, Dennis and his team redefined and rebranded the way that we do business in the United States Navy for finding the right talent and then bringing it in. Amidst all these extraordinary challenges, Dennis, you have not only met the mark, but you have raised the bar, and your team has prevailed. On the back end of COVID, on what we hope is the back end of COVID, you were also faced with a pretty daunting 3.7% unemployment rate, which presents its own unique challenges, right? Absent COVID, when we look right now at what Recruiting Nation is dealing with, we have the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. We have 120 months of consecutive job growth. And I can truly characterize this period as probably the most difficult recruiting mission in decades. And we have a former Chief of Naval Recruiting up here. Pete, would you agree? Yeah. So, but as we look at what Dennis has provided, his expert counsel, his leadership, the focus that he and Admiral Garvin and so many in this room have brought to the force development enterprise, culminating in outstanding success in support of building the Navy that the nation needs. During this time, Dennis and his team managed to orchestrate and directly influence 41 policy changes. Now, that doesn't sound like a big deal, But for most of the folks here who have been in Washington, D.C., 41 policy changes is a big deal. But more important, let's look at the outcome, which is bringing in more than 14,000 additional sailors based on those policy changes. I have to tell you, that's a return on investment that not many policy changes in Washington, D.C. achieve. So, Dennis, you also managed and revamped an enlisted incentive program to attract top talent to the fleet. Your leadership was critical in the Navy being the only service that achieved both our FY20 and our FY21 goal. And so this pressurization, as we look at the talent acquisition for both military and the civilian world, it would normally be a huge accomplishment just given what we're seeing with the labor market and the labor force. But the fact that the team did it under Dennis's leadership amidst a pandemic is pretty incredible. To put this in perspective, since COVID started, that team has brought in more than 70,000 sailors to the U.S. Navy. So that's the best performance that we've seen in many, many years. I want to also highlight that Dennis is a change agent, and as he came in and as he looked at the recruiting nation, he looked at what was coming down the pike, and he looked at how we were transforming our Navy recruiting districts to our Navy talent acquisition groups. He accelerated getting all 26 of those stations to NTAGs, to our Navy talent acquisition groups, over 3 years ahead of schedule. Again, right now, when you think the military, you don't hear about a lot of stuff that comes in on budget and ahead of time. Dennis came in under budget and ahead of time. So Dennis, as you look as well at what you and the team, and we have some of the heroes that have helped you with our rebranding and how we have shifted from what about 3 or 4 years ago was almost all broadcast and print media. Don't know about you. I loved the Navy recruiting commercials during the Army-Navy game. That said, that's not where the sailors, the future sailors that we're looking for live. They live in that digital space. And so the team got us there and did very innovative things like coming up with our own esports team, Goats and Glory. Now, again, for those who are old timers in the audience, could you imagine going to the CNO to say, we would like to start an esports team called Goats and Glory? How do you think that sounds, CNO, right? And so after we got through that first initial discussion, Dennis brought that over the line, and I got to tell you, they are just tremendous. They certainly kicked my butt when we went over, and Fleet Koschoffer and I, played them in Call for Duty. And of course, my kids laughed. I know I just screwed the name up. Okay. and by the way, the young man sitting across from me, the only way, I don't want this to be too much about killing, but the only way that I killed anybody was that he ran his guy up to me and stood in front of me and went like this. All right. So Fleet Koschoffer is telling me, CNP, you're kind of embarrassing me. And I said, I'm pressing it. At which point Fleet Koschoffer did the only thing that he knew to do. He looked across at the young Goats and Glory player, and who was a 25-year-old machinist mate, and said, I challenge you to a plank off with CNP. I'm happy to say that while I think I could have won that, we agreed to settle on a tie at 3 minutes. But I will. Are you back? There we go. Okay, so what did you get on your plank for the PRT? I like it. I would say I got 317, but I I think I came in around 3:15 as well. How about that? But so back though to what innovative ideas like that are doing, and we've had a little bit of fun with that, right? But again, it's this innovation that we then look at. So what's that return on investment? I've tried to spare you with Navy acronyms and numbers, but let me give you a few numbers just when it comes to something like that, especially since I've got some goats and glory folks here in the back. In the first 6 weeks, they garnered more than 5 million impressions, generating 22,000 visits to Navy.com. And of those 22,000 visits, we've got data that shows that 92% were first-time visitors, right? So these are folks that we'd not attracted before to the Navy.com domain. And then the team didn't stop there. He continued to push further into that digital age, and they generated over 540 hours of streaming content. Again, for us oldsters, not a big deal. As I look at Noah and Ryan, big deal. Yeah, and that generated 51 million impressions, 471,000 engagements, 2.6 million video views, and 5,500 followers. And then when you look at how you convert that then to contracts, it's pretty monumental. So Dennis's ability to harness the power of the good ideas coming out of his team to then get traction and then operationalize them has just been incredible. So Dennis, thanks for your leadership there. Thanks for being an innovator. And I cannot tell you how impressed, up through every level, but certainly to include CNO and SecNav, that we are with what you have achieved. I will share the story. I know we've got your old chief staff in the audience, and so I'm somewhat loath to let him know that when I called Dennis to say, hey, you're going to go down and become the commander of Navy Recruiting Command. And Dennis said, okay, I'm not totally sure. I mean, do we get to do the race car thing with Navy Recruiting Command anymore? I said, no, we don't. But so we talked a little bit about what it was all about. But I am certain, and Dennis was really, really happy. So I told my wife, Jo Brooke, hey, Dennis is jazzed. He's heading down. And, we were so excited. So I found out over dinner the other night that the reason Dennis was excited is that he was going to reach escape velocity from Washington, D.C. All right. So I think it's fair to say, Dennis, that you didn't necessarily have a full appreciation for the breadth and scope of what the recruiting nation has to do. But boy, as we talked about your reflections the other night, it surely came through that you do now. And boy, has that paid off. So again, I know all those numbers tend to get blurred a little bit, but I think for those in the audience who are not part of Recruiting Nation, understanding just how hard it is and just how intricate all of those processes are is pretty important. And I always am impressed with the passion that the team gets after that. So, and there is never an easy day there. Now, we say that we recruit the sailor, but we retain the family. And so that could not be truer in the case of both of these great Navy to work with Dennis a couple of times now. So I know just how impactful, Delissa, you guys have been in supporting Dennis. Married for 24 years, right? And when we look at your family and the kids that you have raised and that are still raising, but it just says so much about all of you. So again, my thanks to you, to Melissa, to Madeline, and to Dennis Jr. It's definitely a true statement that Dennis would not be the naval officer that he is without all of you right by his side. So we thank you. And then to Dennis's parents who are watching online from Puerto Rico. So Dennis and Rita, thank you for joining us. And I just have to tell you, also being a dad of a Navy sailor, you guys have just done a great job at raising a wonderful person and a great naval officer. And I have to say that probably not many mom and dads can say that their child is in the Puerto Rican Hall of Fame. So we just salute you as well. And then to Gina and Rita, Denise, I know in Dennis's words that you give him a lot of crap when it's warranted. And I think that's helped keep him grounded as well. And as we look at how the Navy and the nation have benefited, from the work that Dennis has done in leading this great team, let's go back and one more time say thank you to the family that supported. And so, the great thing about being the chief of naval personnel is that I do have just a little bit of a hand in assignments. So I'm pretty excited that as Dennis leaves here, it won't be too long before he will be standing on the deck of the George H.W. Bush to take command of that wonderful strike group. And it's every naval officer's dream to roll in right at the start of the intermediate and advanced phase of training and to then deploy, right? Okay. And so for the folks on the Millington campus, if you think about this for a minute, so we have somebody from the family who's going to take a strike group over in the not too distant future. And I would say it's not unlikely that the Eastern Mediterranean will be where that strike group will head. We right now have another old Millington shipmate, Kurt Renshaw, in command of the strike group that's there now. So it's true to say that the Millington cabal rules the world. Okay. So the other thing that's pretty useful as CNP is that I can cherry pick who comes in behind Dennis. And so it shouldn't escape all of you that all three of the flag officers sitting up here have worked with and for me before. So it's not by happenstance that they're sitting up here. So there's some of you right now in the audience that are trying to avoid eye contact. I get that. But so as we look at who was the right leader to come in behind Dennis, unquestionably, we look at Lex Walker. What he did at Surface Warfare Schools Command, and when you look at the broad expanse of what you own there, both officer and enlisted training, and then everything that the community and the Navy has done after the collisions to invest billions of dollars to revamp that training. Lex Walker was the person that helped to operationalize that. And so, Lex, I just have to tell you, I'm so excited for you rolling in as well. And again, we go back to saluting a Navy family. So to Amy, I will just tell you, and I'll share this little story. Joe Brook and I'm sorry, Amy. So Joe Brook, Amy didn't plank off against me, okay? But we had Amy and Lex over before he went up to SWAS. And I said, hey, you're doing the move. Have you used my PCS mobile? And so, Amy said, well, no, we'll get Lex to go ahead and download that the next day. And she said, but hey, can we talk a little bit about the PCS move and the customer experience? And I said, I would love to do that. And so we started talking. And so pretty soon we sent, I think, Lex and Joe Brook out into the backyard, and Amy and I continue the discussion, but she was a key leader on our spouse PCS advisory panel. And when I look at what you've done there, Amy, and so many other commands at where you're not afraid to speak truth to power, we're used to that, and we expect that and we demand it on the uniform side. But I think when our families are willing to also say, hey, I love your concept, but let me tell you where you're missing the mark a little bit. And then we can dig in and get after it. And that is what Amy has done. And then I know how incredibly proud you are of Noah and Ryan. Noah turned 19 yesterday and survived Tejas to Brazil last night. So happy birthday. So let me just close by saying that as we really acknowledge, two heroes on the stage up here today, I do want to finish by saying not just thank you to them and their families, but thank you to the recruiting nation. You make us proud every single day. There is nothing that we ask you to do that is not hard. And that's on a normal day. So I just do want you to know how much we genuinely appreciate it and how much we admire what you've done. And please tell your families and your support network that we appreciate that as well. We talk about ships and submarines, and that's what Admiral Steindl and the world that Admiral Harris and so many others here, they live in, and that's really important. But that's not the secret sauce. When you look at Ukraine and Russia, right? Okay, Russia has the ships and the subs and the airplanes and the missiles, okay? But Ukraine is kicking their ass, and they're doing it because they have the right people that are well-trained and that are passionate, and that's what we do in Recruiting Nation, in My Navy HR, and in Millington, Tennessee. So it is just such a pleasure and an honor to be here as we all continue to get after that task of making sure that we are getting the right sailors in, and then we're taking care of those sailors and their families. Dennis, thank you for the honor again.
Now, Commander of Naval Education and Training Command, Rear Admiral Pete Garvin, will provide remarks and present Admiral Velez with his End of Tour Award.
Well, good morning. Can everybody hear me in the back okay? Yeah, good to see you. And got to tell you, it is awesome to be with so many shipmates from times past and times present on the stage, and seeing you all out in the audience. I was just regaling some of the stories that are going through my head as I'm seeing some shipmates. Some I won't tell, proper audience and all that, but it's great to see you all this morning. And I'd like to add my personal welcome and thank you to the families that are attending both here in person as well as online today. And what a fine Navy day it is. I don't know, chaps, where are you? Yeah, thanks for the weather. That's pretty fantastic. Yeah, whatever you got going, keep doing it. It's awesome, and it's a tremendous opportunity. Vice Admiral John Nowell pinned 05 on me here in Millington, Tennessee, a few years back, and it's just been a pleasure serving with you and for you for so many years, boss. And then, of course, 6 degrees of separation, all of our shipmates that we share together. So, again, back to the family, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks. I've not got to meet you yet, Delissa, but it's great to see you. I can't wait to chat with you, and you can tell me stories of, we can give impressions on the same guy and see if that matches up. And your daughters, Melissa and Madeline, and your son, Dennis, all online doing God's work as Admiral now elucidated there. And I appreciate what you've done for Dennis and allowing his service. As well as Lex's wife, Amy. It's good to see you and Noah and Ryan. We talked about living in New York City. Just fantastic to meet such an amazing family. Now each of us, and this is a double, maybe even a triple tap, but it's worth doing. So each of us in uniform knows that our oath is to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, right? We all know that. We all swear it. We all have that just in our hearts. But it is also absolutely true that we could not do it without our families' love and support. It is your service and your sacrifice that I'd personally like to acknowledge and applaud again today. So thank you to the families. So Dennis, I can't thank you enough for your extraordinary contributions to the overarching force development mission. And I won't repeat too much of the Chief Naval Personnel's well-deserved high praise, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention just a couple of things, didn't add my Bravo Zulu for the incredible run these last 2 years. And as CNP mentioned, I do have a sense for it, having had the honor and privilege of serving here myself a few years back when it was, dare I say, easier. We didn't have a pandemic. You remember the terms burning hot and the mission that we had back then. So it was pretty challenging then, those that served here in Millington. But all the things that you did amongst a pandemic, just simply incredible. You rose to the task during one of the most difficult times in recruiting history. You mentioned the labor market, boss. We can't get people to go to work on easy days in the nation, it seems like sometimes. And then to get them to sign up to the challenge to going to sea to support and defend our Constitution, truly inspiring. The tremendous hard work of each and every recruiter and supporting staff member out there undertaking the ambitious task of identifying the right sailors for the right jobs. And that is the secret sauce, CNP. I swear to that every day. Our asymmetric advantage is our sailors, is the teamwork, is the brotherhood and the sisterhood as we go forward and fight and defend. Or your implementation of the visionary and innovative strategies like the Navy's online esports team, Goats and Glory. It's great to see you here. It's Call of Duty, right? Did I get it right? I still don't want to play you because no, I'm pretty sure I get my right. Me either, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't do a 3-minute and 15-second plank. So both counts. I think I'm behind you there. And then, of course, this is another one of those that didn't get mentioned, the Interactive Journey to the Moon artificial intelligence vehicle. That's pretty cool. And I know the other services are not doing that. And then the e-talent division, that's been in work since before COVID. And I think that really enabled us to succeed in COVID. And you had just accelerated it. You didn't stick your head in the sand and wonder what COVID was going to do to us. You took advantage of the operational environment that COVID presented to us. And so that's the key to victory there. And then the success of the Forged by the Sea campaign. It's just great to see our partners out there and that dream from many years ago come to full execution, really making a difference. And then, of course, CNP mentioned the incentivization programs of getting our recruiters the tools that they need to draw in the talent that we need. And all this while we all know that the budgetary environment is not getting any easier, right? So the ability to make those convincing and compelling conversations to senior leadership to vote with that really important resource, which is financial resources given to Dennis and the team so that they can recruit the best talent and win. And all of this is a reflection, Dennis, of the long-lasting impact you're going to have on our Navy. And you're going to be the beneficiary of it. So you kind of threw yourself a pass and you're going to catch it as you head out to sea. We absolutely needed a dynamic leader like you with vast operational experience and a unique perspective and the drive to back it all up. Your contributions to instilling a culture of excellence and removing obstacles to diversity, equity, and inclusion within our Navy will also have a demonstrable and lasting warfighting impact. Put simply and accurately, you were the right leader at the right time. So again, I wish you all the very best as you head off to Carrier Strike Group 10. A little bit of envy. I would give body parts to trade places with you. But I know you will lead them with that same passion, dedication, and inspiration that you brought to recruiting nation. So over to Lex. And again, I remember distinctly when CNP, we're having a conversation as we often do, and we're talking about talent management. And he gives me kind of the insider baseball that, hey, we might get Lex to Navy recruiting. And the part that didn't get told, but I'll tell you here, is that at Swissick, the artist formerly known as SWAS, that reported to NETC. So I was very familiar with Lex's work and thrilled. I almost had to, I was like, okay, CMP, this is not one of those times where you're messing with me, right? You're giving me probably, if not probably what you really were, the most talented Learning Center CO that I had. So I get to keep him. How thrilled am I to have that opportunity to serve with you once again. And I know the drive, the vision, the leadership we talked about on your departure fit rep from Swissick about the grace and the steadiness, the unflappability that Lex brings to the table. You'll learn the recruiting acronyms. You'll learn all that stuff, and they'll fire hose you. I'm sure you're already getting that fire hose. But really, the piece that you bring, the secret sauce that you bring will be the leadership and the inspiration removal for your team. So super excited to work with you and Amy, and I hope to come up to New York and visit. But just super excited to have you on board. Now, Dennis, I know you'll quickly say that this award that I'm about to give you is not yours, but it is yours to wear. And though you would say rightfully that it's the team that helped you earn that, but I would offer this: teams need leaders, and they need leaders like you. So if you would join me here, center stage, attention to award.
The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit Star in lieu of third award to Rear Admiral Dennis Velez, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation: for exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as Commander, Navy Recruiting Command, Millington, Tennessee, from April 20 to March 22. Rear Admiral Velez's leadership and guidance were pivotal to Navy Recruiting Command's success during one of the most challenging times in recruiting history. During a period marked by a global pandemic and social unrest that drastically restricted sailors. And decisive leader within My Navy HR's transformation, he oversaw the command completing transformation 3 years ahead of schedule, ensuring the Navy was able to meet its fiscal year 2020 and 2021 recruiting mission. His relentless drive was key to the development of groundbreaking recruiting tools, such as the establishment of a Navy esports team, e-talent recruiting teams, and Handshake, LinkedIn, Zoom, and Salesforce mobile applications. His astute management of the Enlistment Incentives Program, a $150 million annual initiative, ensured we recruited the right sailors for the Navy. Additionally, as a leader for Task Force 1 Navy, he introduced the Junior Officer Diversity Outreach Program, bringing successful fleet officers from diverse backgrounds and cultures to participate in outreach engagements targeting underrepresented communities and cultivating a Navy that is more reflective of the makeup of the country. By his dynamic direction, keen judgment, and loyalty, devotion to duty, Rear Admiral Velez reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Signed for the President, A.S. Hoppel, Director, Navy Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Now, I just want to say, first of all, that this award is not mine. This award was, won by all of you here, from the Commodores, the chief recruiters in the regions, those CEOs down the field, the chief recruiters, CMCs, all throughout the recruited nation, and certainly the Blue Jackets are out there humping the streets, looking for sailors to man our Navy. It is a humbling job. I was telling CMP the discussion we had at Bullhouse's dinner table the other night was that, I've commanded a destroyer overseas in Japan, BND destroyer, pretty busy, underway a lot, not a lot of port visits. Then came back to Norfolk and commanded a 33-year-old cruiser. And I know there's a couple of cruiser CEOs out here, and they're hard to manage. And we deployed, we did all the work, and I thought that was hard. I thought that the commanding and keeping ships operational and moving in the right direction was difficult, but nothing nothing compares to recruiting. It is the hardest job that I think we have in the Navy. And what these people do every day, what our recruiters do every day, what those career recruiter force do every day, it is certainly eye water. So this the speech, and I'm apologize, I'm going to talk about 20 minutes because that's how long it's going to take me to thank everybody that had a part in the many successes that the recruiting command experienced the last 2 years. So I do want to welcome friend shipmates, again, lots of mentors, people that I've known for many years that have really taken time to know this kid from Puerto Rico that knew nobody in the Navy. They had no idea what the Navy was about until the Naval Academy was about the junior year in high school, and decided to give that a shot. I had an uncle who had served in the Navy, kind of instilling me a little bit of that need or want to go see the world. I used to send pictures from deployments in North Atlantic on an old Fram class destroyer stationed in New York City when we had a naval station there in Brooklyn. So that's really how it started. But again, when I was in Japan, Admiral now mentioned that we've worked several times. So I was the CEO of the Fitzgerald, and Admiral now was out there as First 41 on a detailing visit. And we started talking, and I had worked for Admiral Standel here in 41 when he was First 41 as his deputy. And the one job that I always loved about 41 was the head JO detailer. I thought that was the coolest job. You get to interact with all the junior officers. You get to bring in all the midshipmen. You go to Naval Academy. You go to ROTC, and then I had orders to go to the War College to go get my JPM up in Newport. This was decided to go back to Newport for a little longer. We always go there for just very short amount of times, usually in the winter. But she was excited to go up to Newport. The time was going to be that we were going to be up there for the summer. We're going to have the summer off, which is kind of unheard of. It starts school in August and just get a great year. And then I was hoping maybe I could stay at SWAS and do a long tour. But talk to Admiral now, my old Commodore John Schultz. I think had a close door discussion with Admiral now. Say, why don't you take Dennis back to Millington? He'll be a great 412. And had a conversation with Admiral now. Say, we'll get back to you. It's great. You do a great job here. Fantastic. But little did I know, there's another guy back here in Millington as we talk about kind of how we know everybody here and everybody got kind of sensuous, kind of how it becomes. This guy, Rick Cheeseman. Rick Cheeseman was working as one of the branch heads, working for Admiral now in 41. And I know that Admiral now went back to Rick Cheeseman and say, do you know this guy Velez? Is he a good guy? And ended up hiring me as 412. And it's been 11 years of mentorship, friendship, and just a great, great leader that I'm very proud to know and call a friend, sir. So thank you. So I'd like to add my welcome to all the family members. Amy, it's great to see you. I think last time we saw you, I was chatting with him up there that as we get older, we forget that our kids grow, right? So I remember the kids as little kids. So the first time I met Lex, they were just little kids about 11 years ago back here in Millington, Tennessee. And now they're just amazing. Grown up, young men and women, it's great to see you. I know the NYU is fantastic, and just it's really good to see you. You guys look fantastic. Amy, again, thanks for supporting Lex and everything you do for our Navy. What a fine Navy day it is. It is certainly a great time to be here. I am very, very thankful for the very kind words that Admiral now spoke about, and for Admiral Garvin's thoughtful words and support over the last 2 years. It means a lot to me that you're here, sir, presiding over the ceremony. And Pete, thanks for agreeing to come over also. The speech I'm about to give you is about, it's about thanks. First and foremost, I want to thank my family, Delisa. Thanks for putting up with me for 24 years. Started back in 1997 in Puerto Rico. I met this girl on a cruise, and the rest is history. 24 years, I don't know, 16, 17 moves all over the world. And you raised some amazing kids. Melissa, Madeline, Dennis, I hope you're having a great time. The kids are not studying. They had a trip planned this week, and I don't want to screw their trip, so they are in Busch Gardens riding roller coasters. They're probably in line somewhere watching the video, but again, I'm glad you guys had a chance to spend time together, and I love it. Separation, the constant travel. I know this hasn't been easy for all of you, and it's not going to get any easier as I head back to sea during a very challenging time for our country and our friends. I love you guys, and I could not do this without you all and your support. I also want to say hi to my parents, Rita and Dennis. They're down in Puerto Rico. They're in Ponce. They are going to make the trip to Norfolk. Really their second trip in the pandemic to go to the Change Command of the carrier. And I'm really excited to see them. Thank you for supporting me through all the years. I think my uncle David, the one that spoke about the Navy, is also online. So David, good to see you. Your love, support has been my guiding light for as long as I can remember. Also, my sisters, Rita Denise, who's working for FEMA, and my sister, Jeannie, who's a judge, I think maybe in a break watching. She's a judge down in Puerto Rico. Just amazing siblings and just great supporters. Also, again, Pete Garvin, just truly a servant leader, amazing mentor to me. Sometimes when you go work for somebody that has your job, it's challenging. They think they can do it better than you. They've done it. They've been successful, and they're going to just tell you, hey, you got to do this, that, and the other, and really drive you to the way they want to do. They did it in the way they think is the best way to do it. That's not Pete. Pete's just been an amazing mentor, just an amazing coach, supporter of all my crazy ideas, and really never is you need to do this and say, how can I help you? Those are usually the first ones. So again, boss, thanks for being just a great leader and mentor to me. To my fellow flags here, I mentioned Bo Halsey, General Baum, again, thanks for being here. Stu Sadawai, my camping buddy and bourbon drink in the evening. It's good to see you. Now you're becoming the mayor of the RV park in Millington, Tennessee. So good to see you. I know Derek Trink's not here. Derek, it's attending the CFMIC course this week. He's heading out to Japan to take over CTF 76. One of my closest friends and confidant, someone that I used to call and complain and vent every now and then, and just being a really good friend. And I wish him the best. I also want to recognize Admiral Sir Kevin Kennedy. Kevin, it's good to see you. It's great to see you moving over to Purse 4, continuing the fine tradition of Purse 41s that continue to drive detailing. So again, great to see you. Congratulations. Also want to thank my teammates, in DC at my Navy HR, all the flags, SESs that, really go out to battle the Pentagon for the things that we need out to make recruiting and the other things that we do. So again, truly the best in our Navy. Thank you all in Recruiting Nation, whether you're here in person or watching remotely, for your hard work, dedication, great ideas, and expertise. No leader, again, can't achieve anything without the full support of his people that are doing the actual work. The active, reserve, and civilian members to this outstanding command, I appreciate how far we've come together as a team, how much you've done. I also want to thank again Sean Howard from our ad agency, great teammate. Not really a contractor to government relationship, more friends, supporters, and really someone and a team that believes in what we do and in our Navy and go really out of their way to support what we do and make sure that we have our the right sailor. I see the CI Moose, good to see you. I didn't see you before. Thanks for coming, for the great support that you do, and to make sure that we're successful across the entire base. So again, thanks for everything. I also want to take some time to thank my front office staff, and I want to start probably the one person that I know cut all my complaints, had to try to figure out how to get things done and really move all the ideas forward. My EA, a much better EA than I ever was. Commander Shana Hogan, we everything that we accomplished because of you. You've done an amazing work driving the staff. You don't know the EA at recruiting command is usually a post command commander about to be a captain. I think Moose had that job at one point. Shana was in 04 when I showed up. She was the CAC director, and she was doing a great job in a turnover. And I'm like, well, why don't you just keep you as the EA? Probably one of the best decisions that I've been in command. She's done an amazing job, and again, I could not have done what I did without you. So, thank you. She's a great mom, dual military family. I know hey, Travis, good to see you. But great mom, and this to be a fantastic naval officer. I also want to say hi to and congratulate and thank Lieutenant Commander Rolando Machado, who I stole from 7th Fleet. Where are you, Rolando? He was headed out to be the one of the ops officers down the 7th Fleet staff. I convinced him to come here and help me drive, all the implementation of the Task Force 1 Navy recommendations. And again, we've done all of them because of his work and dedication. So thanks, Rolando. Fantastic work. He's heading out to be to work in the bullpen. So there's no good job goes without a reward in the Navy. Gone out to work financial management over there in the bullpen in the Pentagon. So congratulations and good luck getting out of there. Charles Alcacid, my aide sitting over there. Charles was I was his first CEO in the Navy. He came from the Naval Academy to do his first tour on the mighty cruiser San Jacinto, medals on deployment. I tell you, so impressed I was with him that I hounded him every day for him to drop his EDO option contract. So he was going to go, get his swoop in and go become an engineering duty officer on the back end. Apparently we did something right because he did. The EDs told me, if you want to be a SWO, you got to sign SWOSIP as an ensign and we'll let you go. And he did. He signed SWOSIP as an ensign. And it's going to go be a department. It went up to PC, was the ex-Soviet PC in Bahrain. And it's not here with his wife, Quinn. They're expecting their first baby. She's back there. And they're going to go out to Monterey, get the master's, and then go back to the fleet as a department. So, Charles, again, thanks for your positive energy. You bring that sparkle of life to the office. Always, you never say no to anybody. You're just a great young man. I look forward to seeing you in the fleet as a department. So thank you, Charles. My flag rider, certainly overqualified to be a one-star flag rider. Senior Salzman is over there. Got it from the Fifth Fleet staff. Used to working in OSD with big SCSs. 3 stars, and then she gets stuck with a brand new baby 1 star. Teach him how to be a flag officer. You've been amazing. Again, better than I ever deserved. And I just wish you, Andy, and the kids, continued success and happiness here in Millington as you now take care of. Like you're lucky, man. You're getting an amazing flag rider. I wish I could take it with me. But again, thanks for everything. I also want to thank someone that's probably in the back working really hard. CS1 Anderson, my culinary specialist, she's preparing some dishes for you. Just an amazing sailor, doing great work for me. My CAT staff, Lieutenant Commander Luke Harbor, keeping up with all the taskers and all my travel duos, and there were lots. The flag sec, the YNs, the Secretary of Staff, Mr. Perryman, where are you? Thanks again for driving out everything and make sure everything was perfect when we send it up. You are true professionals. You have been resilient, persistent, and adaptable. And while most see well-executed plans and events, what they don't see is the tremendous amount of work that goes into preparations and execution. I've been humbled by all of you. My Chief of Staff, Captain Steve Milinkovich, who's now working up in N13 in D.C. Matt Smoke Boring, who is now hanging out in JAX, retired, and enjoying his post-Navy life. And now currently Captain Tony Big Navy by Jungen. No staff can't function without a great Chief of Staff. And these 3 senior leaders that I've had here have been amazing. And I love to take any one of them, with me to on the next adventure. So thank you. Dr. Kevin Sullivan, my Executive Director, thank you for your support you gave me the past 2 years. Your hard work, determination has been instrumental in the success of this enterprise. It is so important to have tremendous support. And I am very thankful to have yours. But more importantly, I've had, been the beneficiary of your friendship, of your counsel, and certainly someone that would always told it to me straight, without any smoke and mirrors. Just a good friend, servant leader for everybody. Be civilian, be military. Once a chief, once a commander. In the Navy, you're always a chief and a commander. And Kevin just simplifies everything that we expect of our leaders. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you to my command master chief, Master Morera, Master Sharara, for stepping in and stepping up. I ask you both to help me bring meaningful change to Recruiting Nation. And I appreciate that, you both being by my side as we lead Recruiting Nation these trying times. I don't know how many hours, how many airports, how many planes, how many hotel nights, but probably in the 300s of the last 2 years. I got more Hilton reward points than I can count. And I think I've visited every Starbucks in the United States with Master Sharara. it's an inside joke because if the NCR doesn't get her Starbucks espresso in the morning, it's a bad day for everybody, including the Admiral. So my itinerary to travel always included the first thing of the day was the Starbucks stop for the NCR. So it kept us all sane. To my extraordinary department heads, special assistants, and my SEL, I am so thankful for your hard work and leadership. No task too small or a job too large. My region commanders, commodores, XOs, the commanding officers, the NTACs, all the CMCs, chief recruiters, you have made me so proud. I salute you all. I always tell people that before coming here, I knew nothing about recruiting. And to tell you the truth, when Admiral Naval called me to tell me, hey, you're going to get, he said Navy recruiting. He said, you're going to NRC. I'm like, what the hell is NRC? So I'm Googling, trying to figure out where he was and sounding excited at the same time. As I turned over this command, I've learned a little bit about recruiting. But what I really learned to admire is that every single one of the sailors that take on the challenge to recruit. During the past 2 years, we've had a range of experiences and challenges that we had to be ready for. Whether that was meeting accession targets in challenging areas, in one of the toughest markets we've ever seen in recruiting, or dealing with that global pandemic that required all of us to stay indoors. When I took over recruiting, it was a Wednesday. I remember that. I got here on a Monday, 2-day turnover, took over on a Wednesday. And that day we had a discussion about shutting down. And 2 days later, we had the decision was made that we were going to shut down recruiting. Everybody was going to go home, close all the doors. We're going to take a 2-week pause to figure out how we're going to keep doing this thing. So that was my first day on the job. No recruiting offices open. That's how we recruit. Needless to say, challenge, but again, we took on a broad range of issues that made the Navy's mission. I'm here to tell you, to the recruiters out there, to the chief recruiters, and anybody has a part to play, that your work matters today and always. Sailors are really what makes us special, and recruiting is the lifeblood of our Navy. We get the right person for the right job at the right time to make sure our fleet is manned to meet the needs of our nation. The ongoing crisis in Ocean Away illustrates why our Navy is so important. Serving in the Navy is more about a paycheck. I'm really happy to always talk about that. It's about protecting our country, our people, our families, our Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Thank you all for your continued commitment to the mission, the work you do every day to bring the best and brightest and most skilled people in the Navy that change the lives of more than 40,000 men and women every year, giving them the opportunity to live a meaningful and purposeful life. Many of you are leaders in your communities and set the example of citizenship in many small towns in rural America. For some, you're the Navy they know. I can honestly say from experience, having traveled from Florida all the way to Alaska, overseas to our recruiting station, and to my hometown in Puerto Rico, that your job is the toughest job in the Navy today. As I relinquish command, I know I leave the entire Navy recruiting team in a very capable hands of someone that I've known for many years. And last night, one last joke. So I'm doing my out of office in the computer, and I click the out of office, and I'm no longer the EA for the Secretary of Navy. Please direct all your questions to Captain Lex Walker. So I just have to change the captain to Rear Admiral in the job, but Lex relieved me as the EA to the Secretary of the Navy, now relieving me as the Commander of Navy Recruiting Command. So I tell you, I know the quality of the man. We serve here together in 41. We have Pig who comes here. I ran into him in the pack, PTA one early morning, and said, "Hey, Lex, how about going to work for the Secretary of the Navy?" He said, "Let me talk to Amy." And I came back the same day, say, "I'm all in," and we cross paths. So Rear Admiral Lex Walker is one of our Navy's best, one of our community's best, with the right background, skills to lead this command on his continued path of excellence in support of America's Navy. Lex, I know you will find this to be an extremely challenging and rewarding tour. I wish you, Amy, and the kids, much happiness, success as you face the challenges, but also the opportunities that lay ahead. You are indeed privileged to take command of this outstanding group of men and women here at Navy Recruiting Command, and I could not be more proud to, again, having served with all of you over the last 2 years, call your shipmates, call your friends. it's no lip service. If you ever need anything, I'm only a phone call or an email away. I've given you my card to a lot of you. That's my personal email, my personal number. Senior has it. The 8 has it. If you ever need anything, I'll be in Norfolk. I'll be up in DC. If you do make it to Norfolk and you want to come grab a cup of coffee and tell me about the challenges of recruiting and everything else, love to hear about it. But as I take over that command in Norfolk, I will always remain a recruiter. Because once you're a recruiter, you're always a recruiter. And leave you one last story. When I took over recruiting command, Admiral Fowler called me, who was South Command at one point, was the commander of Navy Recruiting Command. Told me, Dennis, you're about to do the hardest job in the Navy. If you ever need anything, call me. But I guarantee you, when you leave, you'll feel like you accomplished something very, very important. And oh, by the way, if you need anything, I am your number one fan, number one recruiter. So I'm telling you the same. As I live here, I feel we accomplished a lot. There's still lots to do. There's never an easy day. The only easy day was yesterday in recruiting. The mission resets every day. The goal resets every day. But I know that you're up to the challenge. I know you are going to work as hard as you all did for me, for Admiral Walker and our Navy. And I thank you for everything. Super proud and humbled of everything you've done. So thank you.
Now, Recruiting Command Master Chief Morera will present Admiral Velez with the flag pennant. Navy regulations introduced the flag pennant in 1865. The flag pennant is raised the moment the Admiral assumes command and remains there day and night, to be hauled down only when relieved from command or under specific circumstances.
Thank you, CMC. I will now read my orders. CNO Order 0422. When directed by reporting senior, detach in March 2022 from Navy Recruiting Command and report for duty as Commander, Carrier Target 10 in Norfolk, Virginia.
Rear Admiral Walker will now join Rear Admiral Velez and read his orders.
CNO Order 0492. When directed by reporting senior, detach from Surface Warfare Schools Command and report to Commander Navy Recruiting Command for duty as his relief.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commander, Navy Recruiting Command, Rear Admiral Alexis Walker.
And so when CNP said, hey, you're going to go down to Navy Recruiting Command, I knew what it was, but having been in a couple of meetings before that and listening to what Velez had to say, I realized that I didn't understand anything that he was saying. And that's right. So it's fantastic to have this opportunity and join this great team. Just a week ago, I was on a different stage turning over the helmet at Surface Warfare Schools Command in Newport, Rhode Island. And while my time in SWISC was wonderful, I now have this unique pleasure and responsibility to lead this team that impacts our entire Navy, because we are the foundry that produces our active and reserve sailors. Literally, none of us would be here today if it wasn't for the work that everyone in this room does to continually man our ships, our aircraft, our submarines, and our buildings. As you get to know my family and me, you will learn that we are passionate and care deeply about our Navy and our country. And although my time on deck has been brief, I can already see that all of you are passionate too, which is evidenced by your past efforts, your dogged determination to meet mission throughout the pandemic and to today. I'm eager to learn more about you and hear your stories. It's impossible to thank everyone that I want to thank today by name, but please know that Team Walker is truly grateful to everyone who has played a role in helping us get here today. As Admiral Velez said so well, the reality of today really is about you guys. It's about our shipmates, our mentors, our family, and our friends who have provided such a wonderful support network and inspiration for all of us to be successful and thrive. Dennis, I get to follow in your wake yet again and know that you've set me up for success once more. As you head off to Carrier Strike Group Command, Amy and I wish you and Delisa and your entire family the very best. We are excited for you guys and know that you will have an incredibly meaningful tour just as you had here. To my family, thank you for your unwavering support throughout these years. It's always good stuff. Right. Yeah. Ryan, Noah, thank you for being everything that I could hope for as a dad. And, and Amy, thank you for 28 years of doing this together and your unwavering support and love. I couldn't imagine doing this journey with anyone else but you. And I'll end there. This is truly a great beginning, and I'm honored to be your commander and very much look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Guests, please rise, and military members don your covers for the benediction and remain standing for a group photo and then the departure of the official party.
Let us pray. God, we thank you for Commander Navy Recruiting Command Admiral Alexis T. Walker and his already proven dedication and passion to serve. We thank you for the faithfulness and sustaining love of his wife, Amy, daughter Ryan, and son Noah. We thank you for all that has transpired here today. Now, God, provide Admiral Walker the health, wisdom, and support he will need. Grant recruiting nation favor, ensuring missions succeed. God, bless America, bless her officials, and bless everyone they lead. Please hear our humble request indeed. Amen.
Will the official party please line up in front of the stage for a group photo with the command? In front of the red carpet and bullets, sir. Yes, sir.
Follow me.
Thank you, CNP. Boatswain, Post the side, boys. Chief of Naval Personnel, departing. Education and Training Command, departing. Rear Admiral, United States Navy, departing. Navy Recruiting Command, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the change of command ceremony. Thank you for attending and have a great weekend. All are invited to the Crystal Room for a reception.